Hello everyone and welcome to a little Loom about data analysis with ChatGPT. To be really honest, I was mind blown myself, so I hope that you will enjoy the process. So let's dive right into it. Here I have my tab open with ChatGPT, so I have the, how can you see this? The beta version of the advanced data analysis tool of ChatGPT. And here is, wait a second, yes, there we go. Here is what I would love to show you today. So first of all, we generated a fully dummy focused or dummy data spreadsheet with ChatGPT. So what I actually did is I generated or I exported this data from one of our test stores. So this is my test store. We just have some randomly generated data inside of it from Shopify itself, and then there were some orders that we generated to test some stuff out, so you can export your orders right here, obviously. And then I actually enriched all of this data with ChatGPT. So I asked it to add columns or rows until 2,000 rows, so that I had a big data set to do the data analysis on. I let it generate random email addresses, random addresses in random countries in Europe. I let it run random sales orders, so the value of the orders, etc., so that we have a database to test upon, which was insane already to do, because just the fact that you can actually use ChatGPT to generate all of this dummy data. I mean, there are probably some other tools on the internet to do this, obviously, but it was just super cool, because if you export these sales orders or these orders in Shopify, you actually have a CSV with, I think, 79 columns. So it was just super cool together with ChatGPT to hack all of these columns together for 2,000 rows, so that we have a nice corpus, a nice data set of orders that we can test upon. So this was the first step. And then the second step, I uploaded this data set. So you can just see the data set right here. So those are dummy email addresses. You have everything on a certain date, unfulfilled. You have orders, you have taxes, etc., etc. Not everything is correct, by the way, but it was enough for our test data or the analysis that we wanted to do. So then I just started out with saying, okay, I would love to get in some graphs or to produce some graphs based on the data set that I have in front of me. So then it told me, like, okay, you can do this and that. There are several things that we can focus on. What would you like to focus on? Then I said, I would like to have a breakdown per country of all the sales. And then it already told me, like, okay, but you have different kinds of places in that sheet, because you have a billing province, a country, etc. So what do you actually want to aim for? What do you want to have in your graph? So I told it that it could be based on the billing country, if I'm not mistaken. But you see, it just generates Python code on the fly. That you can see here, and you have some results here, so you can see what it actually generates. But this is actually what it's doing in the advanced data analysis part of ChatGPT. It is actually really writing Python code and executing that Python code, and then it takes in a file, it generates the Python code, it runs the Python code, and then it adds it to the file in the background. So then I told him billing, then it gave me this little overview, which is already quite insane, right? So that you can just ask a tool that you just drop in a file of 2,000 lines. You just say, give me the subtotal per country. Boom, it gives you a certain thing. Then I say, yeah, okay, this is nice, but I want to do it in a heat map. Now, the sale orders are not as randomly generated as you can see, because, I mean, they are randomly generated, but the total per country is nearly the same. So there is like a distribution that is the same for every single country, more or less. So it doesn't really give rise to very nice maps, but the idea counts here, that you can just ask it to give you an overview of all the different countries with all the different sales amounts, and it just boom generates it. And then I said I want a heat map, so it calls it, I think it's a specific name of a chloroplath map, a choroplath map, sorry. And then it said, yeah, okay, I can do this for you. So it generated some code, it failed. So here you can see all of the Python code it generated to make sure that you can do this, which is just insane. Like, it just generated its right away. Then there was an error. Then it said, okay, I'm going to do it again. Then it generated some new code. There was another issue, I think, or not, no. So here the file the figure is shown, and boom, you just get a map of Europe, and it says which countries have the biggest sales. Again, you can see here, because of the data set, that the sales in all of the different countries is nearly the same. So this is why you see that the distribution throughout the different countries is more or less the same, or the color is more or less the same. But if you zoom in, you really see that there is a slight difference of color. And again, this is just like, boom, right away, you can just generate a map of Europe, which is quite insane. Then I saw on the internet a nice plot that I wanted to test out to see if ChatGPT could handle this as well. It's a box plot. I will obviously show it later. And then I just said, okay, but I don't really know 100% how I can describe a box plot. Maybe it will understand me incorrectly. So I just went to Wikipedia. I just checked. I'll do it here. So Wikipedia box plot. And then you go to the box plot, and then it says, okay, here is the elements of a box plot. So I just really copied this into the prompt. As you can see right here, this is the same data as for Wikipedia. And then it started working. It generated all the code. It made a few mistakes. This is also super interesting to see. It just keeps on going without even really needing my help whatsoever. So generate another code, was again an error, and then it got it right. And then boom, you all of a sudden have a nice box plot. Again, the data is rather similar, but this would be super nice. It's in the top 5 countries of the top 5 sales. So I think that this one, Poland, has the most sales in the data set if you sum everything up. And then you have a distribution, so the max of the order of an order, so the maximum order value of a specific order in that market, the minimum. And then you have the distribution in the center. This would be super cool to see, for example, to see maybe, is my e-commerce company more likely to deliver bigger average order values in, for example, bigger cities or in specific countries. And then you can obviously say, like, okay, I will probably target some more ads there. But again, just the insanity of the fact that it just generates that on the spot, and that you can just keep on conversing with a tool about a data set is just mind-blowing. This, I mean, needless to say that obviously you have to have the ideas of what to ask. You also need to probably be able to check it if it's more or less correct. And obviously, you need to come up with the right questions to ask, right? Because it can generate everything that you want it to generate. But that obviously then asks the question like, okay, but what data is important for you, right? Because this is then super hard to decide which graphs that you want to make. But the fact that you will have the opportunity to, every single second, you can just ask your data set whatever you want to know about it, is just something that I really wanted to share because I was super excited about it. So these were the 2 graphs that I asked it to make. It was super easy. I don't know if there is actually a timestamp on this. It would be super cool to see. No, I don't think so. But I think that all of this, so from the start to the last plot that I asked it to make, so this one, I think took me 15 minutes. So I created dummy data. I just plotted it or added it here, and then all of a sudden, like a couple of minutes later, you have all of these graphs available to you. So hope this helped. It's just super exciting. So if you have any questions or concerns or tips or whatever, things that you found yourself, please let me know, because this is a journey for everybody, I guess. So really, I would say take the time to also play around with it yourself, because it could be a tool that could help you forward and gain a lot more insight into the data that might be harder for you to visualize at this point in time. So good luck and thanks a lot. Bye-bye.